Am I a bully because I follow people specifically to make fun of them? Yes. But I do it anyway because I am the host of a podcast and I require content. Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And today I'm going to make fun of influencers. And generally speaking, I'm going to make fun of Instagram influencer culture. Because not everybody who acts like an influencer is in fact an influencer. And it's a weird word if you say it over and over again. Forgive the echo. We were a little far away from the mic for a moment, and we're still getting a bit of an echo. It's all right. We'll play with that in post, and we'll see if that helps. There we go. It's a directional mic. So, anyways, I follow accounts on Instagram specifically to make fun of the things they say. There's some accounts I follow that I actually enjoy. And those accounts I don't typically make fun of, although they do sometimes spark the ideas that lead to my own podcast. And that's sort of, that's how ideas and conversations work. That's talking. That's normally how talking works. And I'm not gonna call people out specifically because it's not like this is unique to them. This is a whole life of people that do these things. But the weird thing about the modern world, I've probably remarked on this before, but I'm going to really remark on it today because it's Tuesday. And Tuesdays are weird. I never got the hang of Tuesdays. We live in a current society where people always know where their camera is. And that's weird. Really weird. What I mean by that is, actors, for example. Forever, actors have always kind of had, part of being an actor is knowing where your camera is. Why is that part of being an actor? Because that is how you show yourself in the best light, in the best way. Actors have to know where their lights are, have to know where the camera is, have to know where the mic is in order to deliver the best performance on camera. Note the word I said there, performance. They are delivering a performance. In normal, everyday life, it would be weird if you always were looking for where the camera was. That's why reality shows are both so popular, because we see people in their best light in allegedly unscripted situations, and so frustrating and like people hate watch them. Because it's a bunch of people in allegedly real situations who are playing it up for the camera. They're hamming it up for the camera. Okay. All that is true. Instagram has put the camera in the palm of your hand. And not Instagram, really. The advent of the smartphone. Apple didn't do it, they just perfected it. Samsung didn't do it, they just perfected it. So now the camera is wherever you want it to be. So when you're out with your friends, you know where your frickin' camera is. And you put yourself and your friends, but yourself most importantly, in the best light. You are the star of the movie that is your life. What does that do to us as a society? Frankly, it hurts us a lot. It hurts us a lot. Not because some things that influencers are doing isn't very interesting. Some, there's food influencers, there's car influencers, I don't think there's any charity influencers. Maybe there are, but the things they're doing aren't necessarily bad in and of themselves. And a lot of influencers do very well. They're, and again, that's not anything new either. Like Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie were doing this in the early 2000s and the late 90s. They were celebrities, and so they were profiting off of just their literal celebrity. They were profiting off the fact that they walked through life knowing where their cameras were to present their life in the best light. It's weird for an entire society to do that. To live every single day looking for the camera. To go to your normal job and look for the camera. On the off chance that somebody's going to see you on that camera and be like, that's really cool, and like it. To create a legion of followers for yourself. And it's interesting that we've turned, connections, and that's the thing. We use these terms now loosely, but what is the term follower? Who do you follow? You follow a lot of people, probably. I'm referring to you, one of my 54 subscribers. And, thank you for subscribing. I will occasionally loosely refer to you as followers because it's ingrained in the language. It's ingrained in the head. But I really shouldn't. You should, because I'm not your leader. You shouldn't follow me. Subscribe. Yeah. Subscribe. Tune in when you want. Tune out when you don't want. I subscribe to a magazine. I follow something that I worship. Even if it's only part of my worship. Even if it doesn't dominate my whole life. I follow it. In reality, the way we use the term now, we really mean closer to a subscriber. Like I subscribe to the updates they give us, right? That's really closer to what we mean. But language is important. And in fact, language is, when we talk about, and I'm bringing in so many different things this morning, language is specific. And language has to be specific because language has meaning and words have power. So when we say, I follow this, oh yeah, I follow them on Instagram. Sure, we're using it casually, but it's not a casual word. You're putting them in a lead position. The game following the leader is because you're following the leader of the line. I go to church because I follow God. When you say, I follow this person on Instagram, obviously you're really saying like, oh, I subscribe to that person. Like I subscribe to their Instagram channel. But you're still saying, I follow them. They are leading the way. That has power. You may not admit it. You may not want to admit it, but that has power. And the issue is following humans is always risky. We follow the lead of politicians, but we have power over politicians. We can vote them out. You can unfollow a person, an Instagram influencer, sure. But how often do you do that? How often do you go through and say, you know what? I don't need this. This is not what I'm about. I would bet you not often. And you know what? This probably sounds dramatic to you. Like this probably does sound a little bit alarmist. It probably sounds a little bit fear-mongering maybe. It's one thing for a lot of millennials and Gen X who were raised kind of before that language sort of took hold. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, it's a little... The stuff I see out there, the nuance of that language has been lost. You worry about that because language is specific and language has power. Remember that. I would encourage us to start specifically saying, I subscribe. Yeah. I casually subscribe to magazines. I subscribe to podcasts, I don't follow them. They're just things I listen to. Remember that. And instead of just thinking that distinction and deciding to yourself that, yeah, that's fine. I've got the distinction. I'm good. Actually say the distinction and help others know that distinction. Anyways, I'm done fear-mongering. I'm out of time. 10 minutes with Nick is wrapping up here because we're at the 10:20 mark. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe if you would like. Don't if you don't want to. Subscribe to the Instagram page as well if you'd like to. Again, I railed against Instagram, but it's almost necessary in the modern world. Again, just think of that specific language. And if you click that button and you say, oh, I'm following Nick, I will encourage you to say, no, no, no. Nick doesn't lead my life. I'm just subscribing. He's another thing I listen to, another interesting tidbit I digest. And that's what I got for you. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great day.